three-way lead.
She's upset. 100%.
Oh, welcome the fuck back. How is everyone doing? Episode 92 here on a Friday, April 5th, 2024. I am your host, D-Rock, and joining me from the beautiful state of South Carolina, the golf capital of the world, Joey D. Joe, how you doing today, kid?
Doing good, my man. You know, a lot in store, man. Absolutely loaded weekend. One Friday Fights 58 just concluded. And if you don't know, they're offering back-to-back events with One Fight Night 21 featuring the Rotolo brothers on the card. It's headlined by Ursel versus Nicholas, and it's live on Amazon Prime tonight at 8. And as well tomorrow, at 3 in the afternoon, BKFC 60 is in Milton Keynes, Buckinghamshire, England, featuring a triple header, all for title. So a lot of action on top of what we're going to discuss today.
A lot of action on the combat. We got the road to WrestleMania. We'll talk about nights 1 and 2. PFL, the start of the regular season, happened last night. We'll talk about that. The UFC is back at the Apex. Brandon Allen taking on Chris Curtis. A rematch of 2021. Chris Curtis got the best of him there. And our girl, Sky Nicholson, will take on Sarah Manfound in Vegas this weekend as well. You got LFA. You got Cage Warriors. You got KSW. Joe, it's a loaded fucking weekend in the mixed martial arts world. I love it. On a scale to 10, though, let's start the vibes high. How happy are we? Mets got on the board. Got our first win.
That's right, yo. Ecstatic, and it was a walk-off. We needed that one. We needed it.
Oh, yeah. We needed it. Yeah, I was just gonna say they needed it, but so did we. For just being, it's tough being a fan. It's a long way. It's a long, strange trip, as the Grateful Dead say. So, we'll get into that in just a bit. But, Joe, great card last night in PFL. The main event was good. I went 3-0. One of our fights got canceled. But let's start with the main event. Valentin Moldavsky. Moldavsky, he won. He got the knockout in the very first round, 2 minutes and 17 seconds in, and he gets six points, and he's sitting on top of the division.
Yeah, bro, he looked good. I don't think take anything away from Ante D'Elia because he was landing some shots too, and Moldavsky weathered the storm. Yo, you called it, man. These proteges, Vadim Nemkov, Valentin Moldavsky, these proteges of Fedor Emelianenko, the GOAT. I mean, they bring it every time. They're absolute killers, and he looked like that. I know he's had some lackluster performances prior, and that's why I did take D'Elia because he's been in the PFL. He's been through the season. He kind of knows what to expect when it comes to this, but I think Moldavsky's ready, man. A lot of the Bellator fighters have arrived.
Yeah, he has 0 points to letting now. And then in the co-main event, Dennis Gulsov, he gets the third round knockout. Kind of was wearing him down the whole fight. The exchanges, the grappling was really good, but he gets the third round KO TKO, and he gets 4 points, and now he's sitting at fourth in the ranking in the heavyweights. Yeah,
that's good, man. And Linton Vassell, he had him down early, and just like that, he weathered a different type of storm. Dennis Gulsov did. He got up off his back, and he's just turned it. It's that counter wrestling, and once Linton Vassell got gassed, man, it was all over from there. So, man, great back-to-back calls from you. I was on the opposite end, but as we always say, may the best man win. And you were the better man when it came to the featured bouts.
Hopefully we'll have better picks for you guys. But overall, I thought you did really well. Besides, I think the main event and co-main, I think you were profitable as well,
Absolutely was. Yeah, I went overall 5-3 with official picks. And 2-0 with the official leans because there were no odds posted up. But I mean, 7-3, out of 10, that's not bad. That's double Hall of Famer because all you need to do is hit 300 to be a Hall of Famer in MLB in the pros.
And what a performance by Liz Carmouche. Unanimous decision over Juliana Vasquez. She didn't get the finish, but like we said, she's just going to weather. She had too many ways to win. Liz Carmouche is just, even though Juliana Vasquez was an ex-champ, Liz Carmouche was just too much. She gets the 3 points, and she's sitting fourth in that flyweight division now.
Absolute gamer, gorilla. Even at her age, she brings it every single time. I think her strength and conditioning are second to none. She's definitely putting in the work, obviously, and it shows. It reflects in her performances, and that was a good performance. I was a little, you could argue it was a little boring, but she put on what she needed to do. I mean, what wasn't boring was our girl in the prior fight.
Dakota Divicheva. I mean, Joe. Regardless about men or women, she is outside of Hamzat Chimaev. Dakota Tcheva is the best prospect, men or women, I have ever seen.
Absolutely.
I mean, this girl is lethal with her legs, with her knees, with her fists. This girl will fuck 90% of the population up. She is business. She gets the first round KO, TKO, 3 minutes and 54 seconds in, and she's sitting number 1 with 6 points.
Yeah, bro, that quick 6 means a lot in the season. And man, if you also saw the scrambles, Lisa Maldian, was trying to be a dog in there and try to put it to her and play her game, take her down and, and keep her there. But she was not allowing it. She did not accept the position. Dakota is the real deal. Like we said, as legit a prospect as I've ever seen, and quite possibly, to be honest, in terms of just pure technical striking, the best woman I've ever seen. I'm not going to lie. And I know that's saying a lot, and she's very young in her career, but if she's doing that now at 24 years of age, imagine what's to come in the next 6 years. She's probably going to win the $1 million. She's got the confidence to boot. If she can handle those scramblings and the exchanges when it comes to wrestling, and even if she could throw in a submission, maybe upcoming, maybe possibly get another quick 6 or a quick 5 or, 4 even, and get a finish, that sets her up for the playoffs already.
Joe, that's very high praise coming from you, who's watched the sports for over 15 years now. I mean, I was going to ask, outside of her and maybe a guy like Khamzat Chimaev, like, is she the best prospect you've seen? And if
back
not,
in the day, there was Valentina Shevchenko and Joanna Jędrzejczyk, with their striking capability. That was something that was like, oh, well, it was like Anderson Silva, if I can compare it to the men's, coming over from international, promotions. You saw the capability that they had. And when they put the performances out there, you're like, oh, yeah, this is the real deal. And obviously you have like Weili Zhang and Rose, of course, but Rose is kind of getting out of her prime, unfortunately. We still love her. That's our girl thug Rose. And we're going to see it. I think I hate to jump ahead, but Weili Zhang for next week. He's got a big test with Yan Xiaonan. So these are some of the strikers that I've seen historically that are, second to none. But Dakota Tcheva, I mean, she's the real deal, bro. She absolutely is.
And I think PFL needs to do everything. Whenever her contract is over, they need to do whatever they need to re-sign her. They cannot let this girl walk out of the building and go to the UFC.
Throw the bag at her.
You have to. You have to throw the bag at her, because the UFC is licking their or chomping on their lips saying, oh yeah, just wait till you fumble this girl. We're gonna scoop in and take her.
And they're waiting in the wings because they just stole Kayla Harrison. So
exactly.
It's proof in the pudding.
A girl actually that came over from the UFC, Taila Santos. I want to give her flowers as well. She had a very impressive submission win in the first round. She gets 6 points, and she's sitting at number 2, tied with Jenna Bishop as well, who got the submission win in the very first round. So the 3 ladies, Dakota, Taila Santos, and Jenna Bishop, all sitting at the number 1 spot in the women's flyweight division.
Wow, impressive stuff. Yeah, Jenna Bishop, BJJ player. She's been the top of her game for a while. Not sporting the best record in IBJJF, but still, you could always, you got to worry about those players, man. They're a threat when he goes to even being on their back. She could throw up submissions from there. And Taila Santos, she played her game. She outmuscled this girl, the fellow Brazilian. You had the Pitbull brothers watching in on her, rooting her on, and that was a good performance from her, and it showed her level, because we should expect that from a fighter that has seen the who's who of the UFC ranks. So shout out him.
Yeah, I can't wait. Next week, we got the light heavyweights and the lightweights, headlined by Impa Kasanganay taking on Alex Polizzi. Wow. You got Robert Wilkerson taking on Tom Breeze. Our boyfriend of the show, Clay Collard, is fighting
the most exciting lightweight on the planet.
Oh, I mean, by far. I mean, I thought was going without saying. Sadabusi, he's fighting as well. We got some.
He moved
really
up, didn't he?
Yeah,
Sadabusi, I think he moved up in weight because there's no 185 or something.
Yeah, he's in the light heavyweight division now.
205. I mean, he look big, man. Let's see. That'll be interesting.
He's fighting Joshua Silveria.
Silveria, and he lost against Impa in the championship last year. So we'll talk about that on the recap come Sunday.
Yeah, so Monday. it's gonna be very exciting. But yeah, 3-0 for me, 5-3, 7-3 if you're gonna want to count the leans. But overall, a really good start to the PFL for the boys. Before we get to our picks for this weekend, let me tell you guys about our sponsor. We are brought to you by Viva Tequila Seltzer, the most refreshing hard seltzer on the market, hands down. It is no wonder why Viva was voted #1 hard seltzer in the world by San Francisco World Spirit Competition. with only 88 calories, 0 carbs, 0 sugar, and a light 4.5 ABV. Viva is the perfect drink for your post-game celebration, as it was created with that active lifestyle in mind. We flavor tequila seltzer because flavor is the spice of life, and we like our drinks with just a kick, just like how we like our lives. Whether it's Huckleberry playing around the golf with the boys or an elderberry watching UFC Vegas 90, it doesn't matter. Our favorites pair perfectly with that Artisanal Blanco tequila for that subtle and refreshing drink. Our belief here at Axe Kick Picks and at Viva is to live long, live well, and live it up. All right, kid, let's get to these plays. We are back at the Apex for another fight night. A little early start time. Thankfully, the prelims start at 3 p.m. Main card kicks off at 6 p.m. It's not so much that I hate the late start time. It's just it drags a little bit, especially when the main event and we're getting all decisions. When it's come by, I'm an old man already. When it's like midnight, 12:30, I'm fighting to stay awake, Joe.
Yeah, absolutely. When you're not like really invested as well, unfortunately, sometimes it's because the crowd isn't there with the Apex. We got to do away with it. I hate to say it, it also kind of cuts out a lot of the fans. Have you seen how you can only come and watch your fighter and you have to leave. You have to be escorted out of the premises. Like, that's embarrassing. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah, so Hunter Campbell did just sent a memo to all the fighters and the workers saying, if you are fighting, you'll get tickets for your family, friends, loved ones. But that's the thing, like, say you're fighting and we all come to your fight, Joe, we'd have to leave after your fight, which kind of sucks, It sucks, I really don't get the logistics of it.
Because sometimes the fighters want to stay and watch the other fighters as well. Maybe
100%.
There's someone in your division, so you would be like, hey, I want to stick around with my family and talk about it and watch and just like enjoy the win. But
or just you have other teammates. Cleo Kiff teammates. Oh, let me go support them. But yeah,
exactly.
But let's get into it, kid. What do you got for us?
Yeah, UFC Vegas 90. We'll start it off. The first fight of the evening. I don't have an official play, but I just want to give you the lines. It's in the women's bantamweight division. So the bigger size girls here were Melissa Dixon, Melissa Tanya Mullins, however you want to do it, is a minus 375 favorite against Nora Cornioli at plus 275. We've seen Nora have a good win last time out, but Melissa Dixon is sporting that undefeated record. So may the best woman win in the start of it, but I'm going to stay clear of that fight. Now we move right into the next fight, which is in the middleweight division, where Dylan Butka at minus 145 takes on Cesar Almeida, Dana White Contender Series alum, at plus 130. I'm going to get on the board here early, boys and girls. Give me Almeida because he's got a great kickboxing resume. And I think he knocked out somebody. Not like Alex Pereira, but like he was on the circuit of that, like Glory K1. Like, he's been there and done that. And granted, he's 35 right now, but so is like Rebellis to Spain. Like, you got to worry about these guys that have that pedigree, no pun intended. So give me Almeida via KO TKO at plus 450. Big odds for you guys early, and let's see if we can get on the board. He's a dog to begin with, but I'm willing to take the prop bet. So I'll move right now into the bantamweight division, the men's bantamweight, that is, between John Matsumoto, minus 160. A lot of people are hyping this guy up. I think the line also says that itself, against Dan Argueta at plus 145. A big fan favorite, Dan Argueta is. He's proven it time and time again coming out. But I think John Matsumoto is the truth. The Brazilian, I like everything I've seen from him. He's also got an undefeated record here. And the proof's in the pudding, to be honest with you. I think he's legit. So give me Matsumoto on the money line at minus 160 because I think he can get it done anyway. If it goes to the judges, I think it's dominantly, and I think he has a chance to finish Dan inside the distance. So just give me him straight up at minus 160 to start. And now we move to the women's strawweights, where spicy Cynthia Calvillo is a plus 120 dog against Piera Rodriguez is minus 130. And I've always liked spicy Calvillo. She's another dog. She always has a lot of heart, but I feel like there are some flaws in her defensive aspect of her game. She can get to play hers and be the offensive side. As we always say, some fighters, they'd rather be the hammer. I mean, most fighters would rather be the hammer than the nail. But I feel like if she gets into precarious positions, she is susceptible to get finished. And Piera Rodriguez is just that. She is a finisher in that women's weight class. So let's go with Piera Rodriguez, another favorite at minus 130. I think she can get the job done here. And I'm going to incorporate her as a leg of a parlay because that's how confident I am in her. So that's what I'm doing. Let's go now into a last-minute replacement fight again in the bantamweight division, the men's bantamweight division. You know, Victor Hugo, he's been here. He's been ready to fight whoever was going to step up. He's a -150 favorite on the cards against a Pedro Falcao at +115, who is a savage, man. I think taking this fight on short notice against Victor Hugo is another savage, but two Brazilians facing off. I mean, we've seen it in a last-minute replay. We didn't expect a bite last time out with two Brazilians, but I don't know what to expect in this, so I'm going to steer clear of it. I have no official play with this fight because we have seen Falcao before in the Dana White Contender Series, and we have seen Victor Hugo there before as well. So I think this is a toss-up. I think the line says that as well. And now we go into, man, a lot of bantamweights. This is the women's bantamweights now. And again, we're back in the bantamweight division for the women's. And we got the truck, Norma Dumont, -140. Shout out Laura Sanko. Taking on Jermaine Duranda May at +130. The return of her, she's a storied kickboxer. She's got knockouts against Alexis Ladd, right? She's got like first round knockouts against a lot of opponent. Aspen Ladd, sorry, but Norma Dumont. I think the level of competition that she's fought is what made her look so good. I think this line's wrong. I think there's value in Jermaine Duranda May because of that. If she can deny the takedowns and sprawl and brawl, and it's not really brawling with her. She's got a lot of technique behind her punches, but she also carries a lot of power, and she's big for that weight class. She's a type of fighter that could fight at 145 if she wanted to against like Kayla Harrison. So give me the puppy, my first one of the evening, if you don't consider the prop bet I had. I got Jermaine Duranda May at +130. I think she can get the job done here. I like the level of competition she's fought before, and I think the time off may have benefited her if she could work on some of the holes in her game, which most likely would have been the grappling and the wrestling. Norma Dumont, watch out for the strikes if it stays standing. So I'm going to take Duranda May as a dog. Do you have anything? Do you think anything about that fight?
No, but she got a dump truck.
She's driving it. Let's go now into, I think, if it's not the featured bout of the prelims, it's definitely the co-main event of the prelims, and that is
the featured bout.
It is the featured bout. So we got, OGs of the game here in the welterweight division. Court McGee, big dog, +250, but don't count out Court McGee, my boy. And he's taking on the great white, Alex Morono, -290. I mean, we've seen the proof in the pudding. That's my word for this weekend. Alex Morono, he brings the dog out of everyone because he has that dog in him 100%. So I do think the line is right. But like I said, don't sleep on Court McGee. I don't have an official play, but D-Rock, I heard that you have a little something for us.
Yeah, let's get on the board here. I do think Alex Morono gets the job done, but I'm going to go over 2.5 rounds as my official play, -136. Court McGee, he did knock out his last two opponents, but Alex Morono, he isn't usually a knockout artist. However, I do think his speed will be too much for Court McGee. First round will kind of be a feel-out round. Then these guys will start to figure each other out, start touching each other up. Give me over 2.5 rounds. I do think it goes all three.
Yeah, they're tough enough. They're durable enough. They're both going to be hunting the finish, but sometimes that can equate to not that they'll completely gas out, but just lose that finishing touch that they wear themselves out, war of attrition, and it goes to the judges, or it is a late finish, and you still hit with the over 2.5. So great call there, my man. And that's the featured bout of the prelims. And we move on to an exciting, I think, even though it's in the Apex, man, it's an exciting card. And if I have to say one person that should never fight let alone Nate the Train, should never fight on an Apex card, it proved in Atlantic City, I got to say that Trevor Peek should not be fighting on an Apex card either. He brings the fans into the fight. He really does. But he's fighting a game, Charlie Campbell. The Cannibal is legit. I think his striking is going to be better in terms of the technical prowess that he offers than Trevor Peek, but Trevor Peek just throws those hammer fists from standing, so you don't know what to expect. But lightweight division, Peek at a +155, Campbell at a -175. I think the line is right. D-Rock, I'm going with the under 1.5 at -150. When you go under 2.5, it's a $3 favorite. So something's telling you that this is going to be a fight that's finished in the distance. I'm hoping it's within the first or the first half of the second round. So I'm taking the under 1.5 at -150 because it's playable.
Joe, how'd you think I did on breaking down that last fight?
You did fantastic.
It doesn't matter what you thought. Yeah, this might be a surprise for you, Joe. But I like Trevor Peek here as a dog, +155. Charlie Campbell, he may be the more skillful fighter, But I think he's going to need to take this fight to the ground, and we all know he's not going to do that. We've seen his fights. It's kill or be killed. Trevor Peek is a durable fighter. He trains in altitude. He has cardio. It won't be an issue for him. So if he pushes the pace, makes this a dog fight, I think he could get the upset here if Campbell doesn't want to wrestle and be smart. I think he gets the knockout late too. So watch out for Trevor Peek. Give me the dog plus 155.
And I hope we both hit on that one. You know, Charlie Campbell, he got chinned by Chris Duncan back in the days, and that was a first round finish. That's Trevor Peek special. So
I had to cut the promo on you. I'm sorry.
No, I love it. And I did not expect it. Once again, you keep getting me. Now, let's go into the next fight, which is in the heavyweight division. We have the debut of Johnny Walker's brother, Walter Walker, who the lines love, the books love, and I think a lot of fans do as well because he is a finish guy. He's a spectacular finisher, sporting an undefeated record, 10-0. Maybe the resume isn't as long as you like, but he's got some amateur bouts, and who knows how many underground fights he's had in Brazil. So he's taking on Lucas Brzeski, plus 225. I don't think Brzeski's had a shot. He's a tough Polish dude, but, you know, I don't think Polish power is going to reign supreme in this one. I think Walter Walker is going to knock him out, and possibly early, but I'll just take it safe. Take Walter Walker to get value for you guys via KO, TKO at plus 125. I think he gets it done within the distance via knockout. You have anything on that one?
No, nothing for the next two, kid.
All right, and now we go into the lightweight division, and I don't have anything official, but it will be a lean. Got to go with Ignacio Bahamondes here, minus 335. Christos Giagos at plus 275 is a great fighter. I really do. He's been a dog in about 5 consecutive fights now, and he's proven the books wrong a couple times, but I don't think it happens here. La Jaula is legit with the spinning attacks, his ability to finish off the back, throwing up triangles, and if he can take you down, I think he does pose a threat on dominant position. So yeah, Ignacio Bahamondes is the truth. I don't know which way to go in terms of props, so I'm just leaning him as my only official lean of the day. Ignacio Bahamondes, find a way to play him, but I'm just taking him straight up as an official lean. Now, we go into, I think this is going to be an exciting fight, this next one. I think quite possibly could be fight of the night. You know, we're good at spotting those. The featured bout here in the featherweight division, Morgan Charrer, minus 115 is taking on Chet Mariscal, Machine Gun Mariscal, plus 100 on some books I'm seeing. You know, I think the line maybe putting some money on a Machine Gun here, but where I saw it, he was still a dog. So, you know, he's lost to our boy, Garfield's finest, Frankie Buenafuente, and he's lost to a couple good names, and he's beaten some good names. Like, he's on a 2-fight win streak. He beat Trevor Peek, kind of exposed him there, brought, you know, wore him out. And then Jack Jenkins, he got him hurt with that. You know, you don't break your fall with your arm because you're going to break your arm. And that's what happened with Jack Jenkins. And we like Jack Jenkins. I think the world of him. I think he's a really good fighter. But man, it's hard for me to take Chet Mariscal in this spot. It really is, because the last time I seen this French fighter out, Morgan, he was putting it on his opponents, dude. And he has never lost via KO, TKO. He's gotten about 13 of them himself. So if this fight stays standing, which I think is a Chet Mariscal's way to do it, I think he's in for a rough night. I got to take Morgan, the favorite, on the line here. I think he could finish him via KO, TKO, but I'm taking him straight up if it does reach the judges' scorecard. So even though I did take out the option of a submission, maybe you want to try a double chance. But hey, that's why I played him straight up on the money line, because the submission's always viable. What you got, my boy?
Yeah, I like Morgan here as well, straight up on the money line, minus 115. Chet Mariscal is tough. He's a very durable fighter, but Morgan, I agree. Watching his fights, he's the more technical striker. He carries more power. And if he's able to slow down Chepe and not allow him to make this kind of a dogfight, I think he could use his striking, stay on the outside, and I think he has a higher ceiling than Chepe Mariscal. So I'm going to ride with the better fighter, in my opinion. I think the line is right. Morgan does deserve to be the favorite. I'll take the short number, minus 115.
Fair, man. We're on the same side there. What can go wrong? No, but I think he's really good. I think he's a great prospect for the UFC. And if they do put events in France, I mean, the fans would love to see him. I know that for a fact. So we've made it to the co-main event of UFC Vegas 90, and we're in the featherweight division. And surprisingly, Alexander Hernandez is making the drop down, and he's fought here a couple times. He's been back and forth between 145 and 155, and the books love him. He's a $2 favorite against Damon the Leech Jackson at plus 170. And, you know, Alexander Hernandez, he beats up the old guys, but man, would you say that the greatest comeback was not on the playing field or in the cage, it was Damon Jackson's hairline.
Oh my
my
God.
boy, take it away. What you got in this co-main event slot?
He went to Turkey for the
Hey, my boy.
for the surgery. But yeah, these two fighters, they're a little too inconsistent for my liking. We know Hernandez, he has power, but his last two losses are against guys with good cardio, long, rangy, and that's exactly what Damon Jackson is. If Jackson stays away from Alexander Hernandez's power, I think he should be live here. Jackson's the better grappler, and if he could match his physicality, I think he's live. Give me the dog, Damon Jackson, plus 175. And Joe, don't be surprised if Jackson takes this fight into deep third round and finishes Alexander Hernandez. Give me Damon Jackson via KO TKO at 11-1. Hernandez has a tendency to gas out late in the round, and Damon Jackson's going to make this a dog fight.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. And if you look at his last 3 outings, you know, 2 of them are in the featherweight division for Alexander Hernandez, a loss against Billy Q and a loss against Bill Algeo. Yeah, he beat Jim Miller. Like I said, he kind of beats up on the old guys, but we just saw the 2 Bills. You know, Billy and Bill did not look all too sharp in their last outing. So the fact that he lost to them doesn't bode well for Alexander Hernandez. But I got to hedge myself here. It's going to be my first hedge in quite a while because Hernandez, though he could gas, it's either first round knockout or bust with him. So I got to take a play, a little half a unit, however you want to sprinkle it on the Hernandez first round KO TKO, because Damon Jackson has been susceptible to that as well. It's at plus 350 if you want. But my hedge will be with the Damon Jackson via submission at plus 480 because that's his game. And his nickname is the Leech for a reason. He finds his way to take your back and he sucks the life out of you. So I got my first hedge in a while. I love the take that you had with Jackson. He's a veteran of this game and he can absolutely prove it and, take the fight out of Hernandez. But sometimes you get caught and that's what Hernandez does. So like I said, Hernandez first round TKO at plus 350 and Jackson via submission at plus 480. Got a hedge for you in the co-main event slot. I didn't know which way to lean. I really didn't. But we made it once again. We have done it. We've here. Hopefully this may be the last Apex fight. I doubt it. Maybe we make it to 100 like we spoke about. But shout out the action man, Chris Curtis, for stepping in on short notice to take on Brendan Allen in the middleweight division. Allen all in minus 195 favorite on the books against Chris Curtis at a plus 180. I'll give you my plays and D-Rock, you ended up. I didn't take a side in this. I think Chris Curtis, you said he got the better of Allen last time, did he not?
Yep.
So I don't know. I do think Allen has improved a lot, but I still feel like Chris Curtis knows a thing or two, especially if he decided to take this fight in a dangerous rising star that is all in Allen. I think Chris Curtis is going to have to, put the pressure on him, put Allen on the back foot. Allen's going to want to take him down. I think we're going to have a little clash of styles in the main event here. But I'm going to go and take 2 plays. I'm going to go with the over 2.5. I could think if it does play either game, if Curtis can play Allen on the back foot, pressure him to the cage, and start landing shots, I think we're going to late finish, maybe 3rd, 4th round, possibly even the 5th. And the same thing applies for Allen. If he could take down Chris Curtis and get him out of his environment and just do what he does and try to submit you as well, I think it'll happen late. And minus 165 is still playable. So I do like the over 2.5, but I'm thinking that this can go all the way to the judges' scorecard. So I'm going to go fight goes the distance at plus 165 because both guys are durable. Allen can maybe want to test his stand up a little bit because he's getting up there in the rankings and these guys start getting better with the striking. If he's not able to strike with the best of them, he's not going to stay in the top 5. He's not going to stay afloat there. It really is. And Chris Curtis is a good test. It's kind of to get that fight back for him. And maybe Chris Curtis wants to throw him some wrestling. We don't know, but I don't think Chris Curtis, if he does wrestle, he'll find a way to finish. I think the threats are in both their games. Allen trying to submit him if he gets to the ground, and Curtis trying to finish him on the feet. So I don't think either happens. I do think that we're going to see the judges in the main event, unfortunately, especially if the air is taken out of the room. Hopefully that's not the case. But like I said, over 2.5 rounds at minus 165 and the fight to go to distance at plus 165.
Yeah, Joe, like I said earlier, we're getting a rematch that happened back in 2021. Chris stepped up on short notice last time and won. Now stepping in on short notice again. Tough matchup. I'm surprised Brendan Allen took this fight, fighting backwards against a dangerous guy that already had his number. But like you said, this is a different Brandon Allen. He's on a 6-fight win streak. He knows what Chris Curtis wants to do. Curtis carries a lot of power. He's durable. He's hard to take down. Allen has to stay away from the power, and this line keeps going back and forth. It went from Brandon Allen minus 210 all the way down to minus 190, back up to 210. So it keeps on fluctuating, going back and forth, which I get. But my favorite bet is the one you said, over 2.5 rounds. I got minus 155. Shop around. Chris is durable, man. And I think the growth and maturity from Brandon Allen will allow him to drag this fight into deep waters, like you said, maybe 4th, 5th round. But I do think Brandon Allen wins. He has more ways to win. And I just think he's grown so much after that first fight with Chris Curtis. So I agree. I think this fight has a good chance of going all 5 rounds. But official play over 2.5. I think we're getting good money at minus 155.
Very safe, man. That does it for UFC Vegas 90. And real quick, man, I know you want to segue us to our girl, Sky Nicholson. Brother, I incorporated her on my women's weekend parlay. I didn't mention it. I did say Piera Rodriguez was the first leg and part of UFC Vegas 90. She's the favorite on the line. But I put Jermaine Durandame a part of that parlay as well. She's a dog. I just see that I can get a lot of value out of her there. Yeah. Put those two together with our girl, Sky Nicholson. Better odds is taking her via decision. She's a point fighter, but she's so skillful. Olympic boxer. I mean, she can absolutely finish her opponent. But I think her way is to prove that she can go the distance and take on the next fight with Amanda Serrano. She does that via decision. Sky Nicholson via decision. Jermaine Durandame plus 130 on the money line, and Piera Rodriguez minus 130 on the money line, plus 375 on the books, depending on where you shop. I think that's great value for the women's weekend.
Yeah, Sky Nicholson, one of the biggest favorites on the card, minus 1,200. Even her to, like you said, to win via decision is at minus 600. So very hard to get some value in the Sky fight. But like you said, her opponent, she did take the fight with Amanda Serrano all the way to the judges' scorecards. But, you know, I just think Sky being a southpaw, Sarah being an orthodox, which, you know, orthodox fighters are known to struggle with southpaws. And for Sarah to win, yeah, exactly. And for Sarah to win, she's going to have to put Sky in an uncomfortable position. She's going to have to cut her off and constantly put the pressure on her. I don't think that's going to be the case, you know, despite everything, despite a lot of people taking Sarah as a big underdog and thinking this is Sky's toughest challenge. I think Sky is laser focused. She's dialed in. She's a technician in the ring. And I think she's just going to pick her apart and point her out. So no value, but like Joe said, I think Joe did the best thing is to incorporate her in a parlay. I'm not the biggest parlay guy, but that's the only way you're really going to get some value in on her. So I do think it goes the 10 rounds that it's scheduled for. But yeah, and then after this, Joe, I think Sky gets Amanda Serrano. There's no more running after this.
No, absolutely not. And what happened on the last outing for Amanda Serrano was very disappointing. And I think she did the right thing for her fans and for herself by not taking the fight with that eye injury, but also reimbursing everyone that came to Puerto Rico. Yeah, this is the next fight to make. They've been calling each other out. Maybe more Sky Nicholson calling her, Amanda Serrano out. But like you said, there's no more running for Amanda Serrano. She's got to take this fight. And if she beats her opponent, I'm pretty sure they've also fought. And I mean, Sky has fought a lot of Amanda Serrano's opponent and then proven herself therefore. So yeah, that fight needs to be made. And also having the interim belt, I think proves even more. She's basically got your belt, Amanda Serrano. So y'all got to unify it. You guys definitely got to unify that belt.
Yeah, they got to unify. And at the end of the day, the commission is going to have to step up and be like, you have to fight her. Like, it's just evident. But yeah, shout out our girl, Sky. Good luck this weekend. It's going to be a really good. Any other plays in that boxing card or no? Just Sky?
No, man. You know, it's funny. She's one of like the interim title fight. The fight before her is also a title fight. But the 2 fights ahead of them, they're not title fights, but all of them sporting undefeated records. I think Pacheco is good. I mean, there's a bunch of fights in there that are interesting. So if you do tune into the card, which will be difficult because everything that's going on this weekend, go ahead and check it out. Maybe dual screen it, but I don't blame you if you want to watch WrestleMania.
An amazing segue. Let's get to it. We've been on the road. We went to the Royal Rumble. We went to Backlash. We went to whatever Elimination Chamber. Thank you all to get here. We are just a few days. We are like a little over 24 hours from WrestleMania 40 going down at the Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The event is stacked. If you haven't been following and living under a rock, The Rock, no pun intended, is back headlining both night 1 and night 2. Can I just say, Joe, real quick before we get into our picks, I'm not the biggest fan of night 1 and night 2. Growing up, WrestleMania was only one night.
And on Sunday night, you'd wake up on Monday sluggish.
But it was amazing. I was up. I was like, let's go.
Yeah, and you can talk about it. And yo, did any of y'all see the stage and the pyro? Man, impressive with the big good? XL, bigger than ever. It literally lives up to number 40. It does.
I fucking can't wait. Yeah, let's go. We will start in night 1.
Yes, sir.
What is the first match? It is between the Latino World Order, Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Joe, I'll let you lead us off, kid. First fight of the night. Sir. What do you got?
And yeah, I know I've seen some odds around. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee plus 170, Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio minus 250. I wonder what they're seeing there, because I think they're going to start off WrestleMania with a bang. Give us the faces. Rey Mysterio beats his son, Dominic Mysterio. Dragon Lee is a superstar in the making, and they're passing on that luchador like lineage. He's wearing the mask. Those masked warriors go back. And also another thing I saw, Dominic Mysterio is defeated in WrestleMania. He's never won a WrestleMania match, so I think that will rear its ugly head here. Let's go with the faces, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, winners.
Yeah, Rey versus Dominic, it wound up being a surprise, I think, at WrestleMania 39 last year. And while the tag match kind of feels like a star in the making spot for Dragon Lee, I get the sense Rey wants to put his son over one last time. Give me Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. I think they get the job done. I think Rey's going to try to put his son over here. So, give me Dominic Mysterio and Santos Escobar. Let's go to the No, we don't want to see it. Let's go to the next fight. Damage Control taking on Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi. Is this the first time we're going to see Jade?
Yeah, I think so. She wasn't in the Women's Royal Rumble, though. She was. I think she was. We saw her in the Royal Rumble. Yeah, she made that surprise debut there. Yeah. But rightfully so. They're minus 2,000 on books if you look for that. And the Damage Control is plus 700. I just don't think that Asuka or Kairi Sane are going to take the pinfall. I think it's going to be Dakota Kai, and it's probably going to be Jade Cargill pinning her. So, yeah, I'm going with the big favorite on this one. I think it's more of the debut of Jade Cargill than it is Bianca Belair, who's taking kind of a back seat as a moment. And Naomi, she's just always put others in front of her. She's been a consummate professional. So let's see them win. I got the winners, Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Jade Cargill.
Yeah, I got to go with Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, and Naomi to win. Damage Control, I feel like they're overdue. They've been doing this for a long time, and they've been the heroes all to benefit from a win. This is one of the easiest matchups I feel like to call. I think they're really going to put Jade and Bianca and Naomi over here. So I agree with you. What are their odds? Are they heavy favorites?
Massive favorites for Jade Cargill and them. Yeah, massive.
Yeah, it makes sense. Let's go to the
six-pack ladder match.
Six-pack ladder match.
It's for the titles, right?
Yeah, for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Finn Balor and Damian Priest taking on Johnny Gargano and Tommy
Ciampa. I like it. Tommaso Ciampa.
Versus The Miz, R-Truth versus Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate. What do you got for here, kid?
Yo, I actually think, because we got two faces from my end, I think they start the night off right with getting the crowd involved, and they want to see the faces win. So I think we're going to get the awesome truth here. I know it's Damian Priest and Finn Balor, but I think they have other plans with the Judgment Day. And if you say that Dominic Mysterio is going to win, maybe they do get that first match. You're going to have those guys win. I think there's some other plans in store for Damian Priest in the Judgment Day. So I'm going to go with the biggest face, and they're also the biggest favorite. I saw plus 110. The other guy, it's like the next is plus 400 for the Judgment Day, plus 400 for A-Town Down, plus 250 for DIY. plus 700 for the New Day and a plus 800 for New Catch Republic. So they're the least likely, but I'm going to go with the most likely on the books. I made all my plays prior to looking to the odds. I just think with the storyline and what we're getting, one last hurrah for the Awesome Truth, Miz and R-Truth.
Yeah, I agree. Give me the Awesome Truth and the New Day. Both win. You know, the stipulation surrounding the ladder match all but confirms that the WWE is finally going to split up Raw and Smack Team Tag Championship, which means we're getting 2 sets of winners. You know, I do think Awesome Truth winning the Raw titles, not just for, you know, the nostalgic pop, but to set up a comedy spot where Truth leaves the red belt and thinks the match is already over. And, you know, there isn't an obvious choice about the other set of titles. So I think the New Day both win in the second one.
Or they both fall
run.
Belt. Like Xavier Woods falls with one belt and R-Truth with the other.
Exactly. So
I love that, man. I didn't think of that.
Let's go to the next one. And it is for the Intercontinental Championship. I passed one. We'll get to that in a sec. Gunther, the champion, taking on Sami Zayn. Whoo, you know, his run as a champion, it has to end at some point. It just doesn't feel like Sami Zayn is the man to do it on this night. It still feels like the story of Chad Gable trying to get one more crack at Gunther is the more dominant one for this Intercontinental picture. So, you know, yes, Gable could get that revenge by coaching Sami Zayn up for this fight to take him down, but you know, months and months of talk from Gable about how badly he needs that shot. And I just don't think it's going to mean anything. It's like a meaningless win for Sami Zayn. So with that being said, I do think Gunther retains and I'm going to take the champion.
And I think on the books, they're kind of tempting y'all to pick Sami Zayn at plus 110 and Gunther's a minus 150 favorite. So the line is thinner than it normally should. Gunther should be a $3 favorite at least. We know the books. We know the odds, how to play them. But yeah, this is Gunther's match to lose. And I like the story with Sami Zayn as well with Chad Gable. You know, there's a lot to be said about him and his character and where he's come from, main eventing WrestleMania last year and kind of like the fall from grace, if you would, with Sami Zayn. But he's still a fan favorite. I think a lot of people want to see that pop with him, but you don't give him the belt. You don't have Gunther lose at WrestleMania here. And if you've seen the lead up to it, Gunther's been beating him up. So I think that's going to play a factor. I think Gunther's going to maybe tap him out and it will be like Sammy's in the ring and like, you know, like disappointed and maybe Chad comes and tries to get him up and we'll see at SummerSlam between Gunther and Chad Gable.
Let's go to the next fight, which is before the Intercontinental.
I'm glad you mentioned that.
The brothers Jey Uso taking on Jimmy Uso. I mean, I can't wait for this one. I think it might steal the night if I'm being honest. Absolutely. But what do you got? Main event, Jey?
Yeah, I mean, yeet. But minus 250 for Jey. I think a lot of people are expecting him to win. But Jimmy Uso, I think he's a sneaky play at plus 170 if you want to play these books odds. Because you can always doubt the bloodline and they want to stay dominant in night one. I'm going to go with Jimmy Uso. Maybe Solo Sikoa gets involved somehow without the referee looking. I know there's disqualifications, but it's only the third time in history that the brothers have fought. And in both times, the heels have won. So I think it comes again. I think it comes true. Let's go with the heel, Jimmy Uso, to keep the bloodline strong.
Yeah, a lot of people are picking Jimmy. You know, obviously Jey beat his brother and finally got the revenge for what happened at SummerSlam. And it makes all the sense in the world, but I love the idea of the bloodline winning all of their matches at night one. And I can't shake the idea of Jey winning here, either by disqualification when, you know, like you mentioned, Solo Sikoa interferes or edging out a close win before Sikoa and Jimmy put either beat down. Either way, the idea that Jey is attacked or taken out so that he can provide support for Rhodes and Rollins in the main event. I got to go with Jey Uso. Main event, Jey Uso. Give me the plus money, too. I mean, he's
win via disqualification, but he gets like beat up after kind of deal, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I like that. Exactly. I like that story. That's cool, man. That's definitely cool.
Let's go to the co-main event, and it's the Women's World Championship, and they already had a little fight in the MMA hour in studio over here in New York. Rhea Ripley, mommy, taking on the man Becky Lynch, author now too, Becky Lynch. So what do you got here? Yeah, bestseller.
A bestseller, yeah, man. The man plus 300 against the mommy minus 500. I'm your mommy. I got to go with Rhea Ripley. You know, as much as we like Becky Lynch and her story, but she's a company girl. I think she
Yeah.
wants to put Rhea over. And Rhea is the next big thing. And that's the part. She's like the pillar to keep the Judgment Day strong, especially if they lose the tag team titles. So yeah, I got to go with Rhea Ripley defending her crown, being as dominant champ as she is. Becky Lynch is probably going to retire, bro. Like, I hate to say it. We hate to see
Really?
it go, but she's got to raise her child. She's got to raise her and Colby's child, and I don't blame,
Kobe meaning Seth.
I don't blame Becky. I don't blame her for doing that. It's her time. She's done it all. She became the man, one of the most sought after superstars in the WWE, let alone women in history. And she's done it all. She doesn't need anything to prove. She needs to go and be a mother. And I think that's kind of in the plans. And who else other to put over but Rhea Ripley? She's one of the core 4 Becky Lynch's, and she knows what's right for the company girl, like I said. And Rhea is that answer. So let's go with Rhea Ripley. Not playable, minus 500, but yeah, that's who I got to go with.
I hate to see her go, but I love to watch her leave. You love to see it. Ripley, she's a dominant champion, but her reign hasn't been very memorable. That may be enough of a reason, to swing. And I get why people want to take Becky Lynch, the man, but I just think that's a mistake. Professional wrestling is a star-making business. Rhea Ripley, 27, is the long-term investment, and Lynch, she's bulletproof. But Rhea Ripley, she had a great fight last WrestleMania against Charlotte Flair, crossing off another member of the 4 Horsemen in the fantastic WrestleMania match. So I think it continues here. I agree. I don't know if she retires, but I do think Becky Lynch puts her over, and she's the next dominant champion, and it's Rhea Ripley, and everyone just has to acknowledge that at some point.
Yeah, I don't think she retires like right after the match, but I think it's coming. Like the Raw after WrestleMania.
Yeah,
or the Raw 2, something. I just like you said, it's time, and we love Becky Lynch. We do.
100%.
Rhea Ripley is the long-term investment for the company.
Let's go to the main event of night 1. It is a tag team match against The Rock and Roman Reigns teaming up against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins to determine stipulations for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship that will be on the line in the main event for night number 2. Joe, I'll let you lead this one off. What do you got?
Sure. So my question is to you, like, if they said they get to choose the stipulation of the match, let's say Cody Rhodes and Seth freaking Rollins wins, they get to call what the title is going to be for the next night? They get to say?
Oh, yeah.
Or is it just if the Bloodline wins, they get to call it only, and if Cody and them win, it's just a normal singles match? I don't know. But if they do get to call the stipulation, that you just brought it to me. I swear I wasn't thinking about this at all. Cody following in his father's footsteps. Roman is such a good performer when it comes to it. If Cody winds up winning and beating The Rock, a cowbell, a bullwhip match, like the Dusty Rhodes special, I forgot which one it is. Like you know what I'm talking about? That is something that will be historic. He follows in his father's footsteps. My father said, well, I just don't see it. I'll be honest with you. What my storyline will be, I'll explain when we get to night 2, but I think Roman Reigns and The Rock reign victorious. I think the Bloodline stays strong in night 1, minus 700 for them, the Bloodline against a plus 400. I think they know something, and I think it's hard to see The Rock losing after coming back after 11-year hiatus, where he came back and beat John Cena. So, yeah, The Rock is a threat. He's the electrifying one, the most, electric man in sports entertainment. Yeah, and The Rock's not going to lose this one. I think he also has a lot to say, being one of the biggest shareholders of TKO. He's not going to want to come back, put his body in the line, and take a loss. He's going to want to come in and win, and it makes story even crazier for night 2.
And you know what? Like, through it all, I know he played football. He's a huge actor in Hollywood. But through all in all, him coming back, I think what's rooted in him is a WWE superstar. He is what the WWE embodies, what it represents. Going back to the old school, now dropping F-bombs on fucking TBS and TNT. I fucking love it, kid.
It's amazing.
It's amazing.
Wrestling school again.
Oh, absolutely. And to be honest, my prediction kind of changed as we kind of drew closer to the fight. The stipulations seem like a way for The Rock to intentionally or unintentionally screw Reigns over. It gave Cody Rhodes a level playing field on night 2, and Rollins a much deserved win before dropping the world title. But rumors of Stone Cold Steve Austin and John Cena getting involved as like quote on like Avengers style rescue mission on night 2, that's all had me change my thing. Now I'm switching things up, and I'm going to side with the Bloodline on night 1 to add more drama to the Rhodes quest to finish the story for night 2. So give me the Bloodline. You're right. They're not going to lose night 1.
No.
Let's go to night 2, and we will let you lead it off here. Night 2 is
Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits.
Yes,
Montez Ford, Angelo Dawkins, minus 200 versus the Final Testament, Karrion Kross, and the Authors of Pain, the AOP, Akam and Razar at plus 150. And this is where I think it makes a turn on its head, to be honest with you, my boy. I know, the Street Profits, fan favorite, Bobby Lashley's got some heat, but bro, they've been getting destroyed by the Final Testament. I think they're trying to push Karrion Kross and the ALP as enforcers in the WWE, a threat to be reckoned with. I'm going to go with the dog, the Final Testament. Bobby Lashley's WrestleMania record isn't that good. So I went with both, looking back at the WrestleMania records for Dom Mysterio night 1 to open the card. Same thing for Bobby Lashley here. He doesn't win in WrestleMania. So I'm going to go with the Final Testament getting a WrestleMania win.
Joe, I don't have one here. I really don't. You're right. Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits. Even though I do like Montez Ford, I really do. I think he's electric, and I think eventually he will be a staple in this company. I just don't know if it's going to be this time. So no play here for me, but I'll lean with you here to start the night. Let's go to a fight that I do have a play on, and we'll start here. LA Knight taking on AJ Styles. Bro. Did you see yesterday? They got into a fight already.
No, bro, it was looking good too. Like, obviously, throw punches and stuff, but bro, they were wrestling around on the, and then everyone was like, guys, you don't have a mat for this. You don't have a mat for this, bro. No, they're trying to. That was lit. I love that. Knight is a big favorite, minus 600, bro. Like breaking into his house, like calling on damn, I can't remember AJ Styles, what the whole Samoa Joe back in the day. He was Wendy, and like going crazy. But AJ Styles is always live with plus 350, dog, because he's the phenomenal one, But I gotta go with LA Knight. I think they're gonna push him, and I think he gets it done. And he goes on to become, a mid-card title contender. And anything's possible with him. There's some inklings with the United States title, which is the following match after this. So don't be afraid if he goes to challenge whoever wins out of that triple threat.
Joe, if we're looking for a potential dark horse weekend stealing match, I think this is it. The feud leading up into this fight between LA Knight, AJ Styles has been nice. This is LA Knight's first ever WrestleMania match. Knight was the hottest star in the WWE just a few months ago, I could remember. He has the fan support, and AJ Styles, he's a guy who missed significant time last year. He had the injury. That's why he was on the hiatus, and it will always be in or near the main event picture for AJ Styles, just based on his name and what he's done for the company. But simply based on his ability, reputation, a WrestleMania victory for LA Knight will jolt the Philadelphia crowd and continue his momentum through 2024.
Yeah.
Give me LA Knight. Yeah. To win. Let's go to the next fight. WWE United States Championship match. Logan Paul, the champion, taking on the Viper, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens. Kid, what do you got for this one?
Yeah, Logan Paul minus 450 on the books. I'm seeing Randy Orton plus 425 and Kevin Owens as a plus 400. You want me to take it off first? I know where you're probably going with this. You know what I mean? But I think you're gonna hate. I think you're gonna hate where I'm going.
So
with this.
Let me go first then, since you think you know.
All right, Orton, yeah.
Owens, Paul.
Can I take a guess? Can I take a guess?
Yeah, go.
You're going with Randy Orton.
Time will tell. Orton, Owens, Logan Paul, they were all involved in the Elimination Chamber, I think back in February, setting the stage for this triple threat match. And, obviously Randy Orton and Kevin Owens, they're established as veterans in this company. Not so much Paul, but he's not a slouch. I mean, as much shit as we give the Paul brothers, Logan Paul is a WWE superstar at this
Yes.
point. He's proven himself. He's very athletic. And
Prime.
at WrestleMania 39, there was a triple threat match between Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew McIntyre that was among the best of the year, I thought. You know, I would expect Owens, Orton, and Paul to kind of put something similar and special together than what we see. But give me the CEO of Prime, Logan Paul, to retain the United States Championship. I was going to go with my Viper. I was going to go Randy Orton, but I don't see the fucking WWE doing that. So give me Logan Paul to retain.
Bro, I'm on the same side. I have Logan Paul winning because they're pushing this guy as United States Championship. Prime as the sponsor. They're highly invested in him. And you got to think of that as well in the grand scheme of things. Yeah. But I think he's going to get hit with both a stunner and an RKO in this match. That's going to happen. But one knockout punch, and all he has to do is fall on either Kevin Owens or Randy Orton, and he retains. And anything can happen. You know, Randy could hit an RKO and KO, and KO could stun Randy Orton. We don't know what to expect in this matchup. I think it's going to be, like you said, the match prior could steal WrestleMania. This could absolutely do the same because the star power involved. So, yeah, I got Logan Paul based off him trying to be pushed by the WWE and TKO.
First title fight of 4. Let's get to the second one. It is for the WWE Women's Championship match. Io Sky, the champion, taking on Bayley. You know, one of the defining stars of this generation of women's wrestling. I hate to admit it, but it's Bayley. You know, she finally gets her chance in a one-on-one match at WrestleMania. They built this. They fueled it with solid, structure. And, Bayley getting to choose her opponent after the win at Royal Rumble in January, I think that proves very where they want to go with Bayley. You know, she was the leader of Damage Control. She opted to pick Sky as her opponent for WrestleMania after the friction turned of what it was earlier in the year. So when you look at the story that has been told to us, the talent of both women,
it's been
especially
great.
Great. And especially, Io Sky's high-flying ability. This match has the chance to go down as one of the best women's wrestling fights in WrestleMania history. So more than anything, though, a win feels like a chance to truly acknowledge Bayley's presence in the company among one of the best female stars in the company's history. Don't like her as a person, but I think she wins. Give me Bayley.
Surprising take. I got it as well. She's a -700 favorite, and Io Sky's a +400. Just, honestly, Bayley's a good person. I don't know where you're getting. You don't like her as a person. That's crazy. But hey, the character development of Bayley, coming where she came from NXT, being one of the longest reigning NXT champions. And then she came in as a massive baby face to the company in Raw and SmackDown and putting the company on her back. She's one of the 4 horsewomen, like you said, along with Becky Lynch, along with Charlotte Flair, along with the other name that shall not be mentioned. No, I'm joking. Yeah, Sasha Banks. But hey, at the end of the day, Bayley has a lot to prove. She needs to win this title. And we're going to see inklings of the weakness of Damage Control in the first night. So I think there's going to have a lot of lead up to this. And maybe they get involved regardless if they lost the night before. Bayley's going to beat them all up. I don't think she needs any support. I don't. Bayley's going to do this all on her own. Like I said, the character development to where she is now, she is a mature woman. She can handle her business, and she gets it done. She exacts her revenge against Damage Control and Io Sky and proves that you're right. She's one of the best female wrestlers we've seen. So Bayley, I got her all the way. And it all started when she won Royal Rumble.
Exactly. 2 fights left. Let's go to the co-main event. Penultimate fight. The World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Seth Rollins, the champion, taking on the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre with CM Punk as special guest commentator. The best to ever do it, by the way. What do you got, kid? Is he new or and?
Well, man, freaking Rollins +350 against Drew McIntyre -600. I think the odds are that way because, a lot of people want Drew McIntyre. The company wants him. The way he's been on the mic has been fantastic. The performances he had and that finisher, the Claymore, is one of the most devastating finishers besides the RKO. Man, but, I think Seth is going to come and beat up. I think night 1 is going to hurt his chances in this one. But that's not to say that he can't still put on a performance, He's Seth freaking Rollins for a reason. And the crowd's going to be oohing and ahhing. all the way through this stuff. And when you hear the swords clash and Drew comes out, it's going to be a massive pop for him too. And the bagpipes start. I think we're in for a treat with the co-main event, like you said, in this one night too. But I do see new, but not what you would expect. Damian Priest via cash-in the co-main event slot.
Wow.
Is going to win the title and be the World Heavyweight Championship. They lose the tag team titles, but Rhea Ripley as the World Women's Championship, aka the World Heavyweight for the women's, and then the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest, the Archer of Infamy. Let's do it. Senor Money in the Bank becomes Senor World Heavyweight Champion.
Wow, what a turn of events. I love it, Joe. Obviously, Drew McIntyre kind of got blessed into this position. It was supposed to be Punk versus Seth Rollins after, he tore his tricep, unfortunately. But here comes Drew McIntyre, and, he's taken the ball and run with it, taping into the heel character. That's kind of been refreshing,
He's like an anti-hero.
Yeah, I love it. I love it, to be honest. And Seth Rollins, he's pulling double duties this weekend. Should expect nothing less than heart and soul from him, and could be, storyline significantly banged up after night one. Common sense would suggest that Punk gets involved somehow, but I actually think it adds to the depth of his main character and the feud that if he stays neutral. Of course, there's always like you said, the Money in the Bank, because I did write that down. I thought that was a possibility. Of course, there's always the winner, Damian Priest, lurking in the shadows, but I don't know if they go that way. I could see it happen. I just don't think they will.
Fair.
With all that being said, I just don't see how Rollins leaves Philadelphia as champion. He's hurt. He's banged up. He wants to go be a father. Go do that. And Drew McIntyre wins the World Heavyweight Championship, kid.
I love it. Yeah, Becky and Seth both go, kind of take the time off. They've been workhorses for this company.
Absolutely. And they've done enough, I would argue. And the time we've all been waiting for, the main event of WrestleMania Night 2 for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Cody Rhodes taking on, I got to stand up. I have to acknowledge him, our tribal chief, Roman Reigns. Joe, do you have odds for us right now?
Yeah, Roman Reigns is a dog, plus 265 against Cody Rhodes, minus 425.
Oh my God.
And I can't wait for the induction of the wise man. Paul Heyman. Roman Reigns is going to do a beautiful job tonight. It's tonight, the Hall of Fame is. And, when he's going to return the favor by introducing Roman Reigns night 2 of WrestleMania, it's going to be a sight to behold. I'm so excited for that more than anything. You know how I love commentary and talk shows more than sometimes the events themselves. But, bro, do you want me to just go from here?
You got it.
I said if the first night goes the Bloodline, we're going to have a Bloodline rules match. Anything goes for Roman Reigns, right? And the story is that but we could see that Roman Reigns is the greatest of all time and that he can hold the belt longer than the 7-year reign that Bruno Sammartino had, which is over 2,000 days and change. Right now he's at 1,300. So that's going to take another same amount of time since 2020. It's going to take another 4 years to do so. And you could absolutely see that happening. You can. And, we acknowledge our tribal chief. You could say with the Bloodline, they can get involved in a Bloodline rules match. The Rock is involved. And if Seth Rollins gets beat up, Cody might not have a shot. But my boy, I think Cody Rhodes does it. I much as I would rather see Roman, myself personally, win and retain, something's telling me that Cody Rhodes is going to beat Roman Reigns at his own game. He's going to beat him in a Bloodlines rules match. And he's going to complete the story and honor Dusty Rhodes, his father, and the Rhodes lineage. Mama Rhodes. He's going to do it all for the family and for the WWE Universe. We end one of the biggest WrestleManias of all time with the loudest pop you've ever heard, with Cody Rhodes winning the belt and beating Roman Reigns. I think that's where I'm going. I'm going Cody Rhodes.
Wow, to finish the story, Joe.
The American Nightmare.
As I mentioned earlier, night 1, the way this match / main event works best, is if the deck is stacked against Cody Rhodes, meaning this will be contested under, like you said, quote unquote, Bloodline rules. So Sunday's final match represents, the accumulation of the story that's been dominated WWE for more than a year, and it should end with Cody Rhodes finally capturing the championship. His father, the legacy, if people don't know, Dusty Rhodes could never get. There's several major questions I have that, could provide memorable moments during this match. Will The Rock turn on Roman Reigns? How much outside interference will there be? Does Cody Rhodes have some WWE legend help in his corner? All these are questions I think you need to ask yourself before watching or even betting on some of this stuff. WWE has a chance to create an all-time moment with this main event. I thought they were going to do it last year, and I fully expect them to deliver. Championship changes at WrestleMania are supposed to be special and or, signify passing of a torch. Roman Reigns has been the leader and the best person in this company, men specifically, for the past, 5 years, 6 years now? Yeah. So he's carried the load on his back. A Cody Rhodes win here can accomplish that and join WrestleMania history alongside, Shawn Michaels when he won, Daniel Bryan's when he won, Kofi Kingston when he won back in WrestleMania 35. Like, these are all just names I got out of
significance of winning back-to-back Royal Rumbles. Only Steve Austin, Stone Cold, the only one else. Yeah, I mean, come on.
I agree, Joe. I love my tribal chief. I acknowledge him every day when I wake up, but Cody Rhodes finishes the story. I thought they should have done it last year. They finally get it right. Cody Rhodes wins, and I think he starts bawling out, crying. I think his dad's going to be watching up in heaven, and I might fucking tear up, bro, because Dusty Rhodes, just think about it. Just
the
think
American
about
dream.
Yeah, just think about
son of a plumber.
Just think about what Cody Rhodes went through. He was Stardust at one point, then leaving the company, then coming back. He's literally done it all for this company. I think they eventually finish the story, rightfully so. I agree. Give me Cody Rhodes to finish the story.
The American Nightmare, baby.
Let's fucking go, Joe. I can't wait. Good luck on WWE WrestleMania nights 1 and 2. You guys can catch that on the Peacock app. Some MMA news before we get out of here. Our boy Nicholas Dalby taking on Rahim Fakhreddinov, the UFC Saudi Arabia, June 22nd. You like this fight?
Yeah, I'm glad we made that nice transition. Glad we talked about WrestleMania. But yeah, he was the big dog that hit for us. Nick Dalby was dynamite, Danish dynamite. I think he gets it done. Hernat Fakhreddinov looked rough. It was like a draw in his last fight against Zaleski dos Santos. So, a tough one to say, but I do think that the Danish Dynamite breaks hearts all the time he comes out.
Yes, sir. We got 2 fights that were announced for the newer card, UFC 302 June 1st. Nico Price will take on Jeremiah Wells, and Hung Sung Park will take on Andre Lima. 2 nice little matches, I think, for the undercard, kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Andre Lima's back, from the bite. He got the tattoo, so he's ready to go. That flyweight division should be exciting. And Nico Price, he always comes out and bang. I know he gave Robbie Lawler his retirement his last time out, but
he got knocked out.
I think it's a winnable match against Jeremiah Wells because of the age discrepancy. I think Jeremiah Wells aged rather quickly. He came in hot to the UFC, but seems like he's gone a little downhill since.
Yes, sir. And then shout out our girl Veronica Hardy. She gets a match apparently right now of the order bout. She's the first fight of the night. UFC St. Louis, May 11th, and she's going to take on JJ Aldridge. If this bout stays where it is on the order, this will be the 3rd fight in a row Veronica Hardy opens up the card.
Yeah, and a lot of fighters say that. I think Sean O'Malley just spoke on that too. He's like, hey, if you don't want me as the main event, just have me fight the first fight of the evening so I can get out of there. He's like, I just want to get it over with, Literally. So, yeah. And I think you got to favor her. Though JJ Aldridge is game, I think Veronica Hardy,
she's gotten better a little bit.
She's gotten a lot better. Dan Hardy in her corner, her husband, I think they're training with one another, of course. But the fact is that she's actually very good with that position on the card. When she opens up the cards, she's actually sporting a very good record. It might be 3-1 if I look back correctly, something like that. She's really good to start the card.
Yeah. And then we got UFC Vegas 93 on June 8th. It looks like you guys are ready there in South Carolina. Diego Moises taking on Ludovic Klein. Kid, what do you like here?
I like Ludovic Klein. Mr. Highlight is legit, man. We saw him in Tough. He fought our boy, Mike Trezano, the Lone Wolf, no longer in the UFC, but maybe he'll make his way back. But yeah, I like Ludovic Klein. Thiago Moises has some tough outings, and his chin has been susceptible. So, as good as Ludovic Klein is, he could find that chin and put him out. So, yeah, I'll be definitely leaning early with Mr. Highlight.
And I buried the lead here. We got it a little earlier in the week, but unfortunately, UFC Vegas 91, Manel Cap is out against Matos Nikolai. And here steps in Alex Perez. He will fight Matos Nikolai April 27th, 5-round main event. What is wrong with Manel Cap, and where do we go from here? Cut him.
Nah, I don't know, man. From growing his stardom, from the words he's used in the post fight and press conferences and everything, he had a lot of people in his corner backing him because he's an exciting fighter, and it was a good injection of Manel Cap in the 125-pound division, but boy, has that derailed. And shout out Alex Perez for stepping up. Controversial loss with Makayev his last time out, but some tells me it's a winnable fight.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely convinced with Matos Nikolai. I think he's a good fighter, absolutely is. But anything can happen in that flyweight division, and Alex Perez is an OG. So regardless of all the pullouts and controversies he's had, I think he's live. So I don't have a lean just yet. I'm going to have to look at it as we get closer. We got 300 ahead of us. We got so much in store. Let's get past these next couple of weeks, and then we'll think about what's that.
Let's fucking go, Joe. But yeah, that's going to do it. That's all the picks. We gave you 2 nights of fucking WrestleMania picks. We gave you a boxing fight, UFC Vegas 90 at the Apex, kid. We locked and loaded. And you're going to end us with some more picks. 10 seconds left.
Absolutely.
KSW 93.
You got that right. And hey, like I mentioned, one Friday Fights 58, I had Super Bond. He won via unanimous decision against Gregorian. So you know it. 10 seconds left is back, baby. And we're going to follow it up with the main event of KSW 93. Saladin Parnasse, big favorite, almost a $6 favorite, minus 549 about. I'm seeing more money coming in on him against Valeria Murcia at plus 350. I got to go with Parnasse. I've taken him every time I've seen him come out. I think he's a super talented French fighter. He had a tough against Adrian Bartnowinski his last outing, but Bartnowinski was the welterweight champion, and Saladin moved up 2 weight classes to fight him. So he's completely undersized there. That won't be the case here. Give me the favorite yet again.
Let's fucking go, Joe. How have you been doing? I know you went on a heater, then you went kind of on a little cooler. Where are we at right now with 10 seconds left?
Yeah, I mean, I'll get for the recap. I'll get you my overall record so far for the year. But I was on a hot streak. I hit about like a month full of maybe double plays and everything. And then I went 88 a miss, 89 a miss. But I just hit, and then we're going to hit again. So it's all good. We're back. We're back.
Trying to get back on a fucking heater, kid, huh?
Let's go.
That's what you're trying to do. I fucking love it. But, Joe, that's going to do it for this Friday edition of Axe Cake Picks. On behalf of our sponsor, Viva Tequila, Joey, I am D-Rock. Make sure you guys follow along our social media, X and Instagram at Axe Cake Picks. You guys can find all of our episodes wherever you listen to podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. We go live Sunday night and Friday afternoon on YouTube, youtube.com/Axe Cake Picks live. Hit that like button, subscribe, rate, give us a review, leave in the comments who you'll be betting on this week. All that good stuff really helps the show grow tremendously. So be a friend, tell a friend. Good luck on your wagers this weekend. Be safe, be well, and we will see you guys on Monday. Peace.